times get tough, dreams get even tougher. We lose our vision to move forward. We must muster up enough courage just to blindly in the dark, enough to confidently walk at night through Montreal nor Park. And in life, no one waits for you. We take it day by day. Don't go begging for answers. Succeed by paving your own damn way. That way, when you finally make it, no one can take that shit away. Don't be surprised. Fake ones only show up on your glory day. They say no sleep for the rich. While you're dreaming, I'm getting rich. They make it seem like big dreams are a glitch, but a dream will manifest my shit. They say no sleep for the rich. While you're dreaming, I'm getting rich.
Hello, love warriors, and welcome to another episode of Bursting with Energy. I'm your host, Jess Flo, life coach and spiritual guide, and today we're on season 3, episode 4. I have a special guest with us, Vyasha. She was actually in season 2, I think episode 3. You guys can go check it out. We talked a lot, so I wanted to have her back on the show so that we could dive even deeper into energy. I think last time it was more around food and body. This time it's going to be really energy and what she does. So let's get into it. If you guys do want to see the basics, go back to season 1. And if you want to see specifically her first episode, then go back to season 2. How are you, Vyasha?
I'm very well. I'm really happy to be here because I really enjoyed the first time.
Yes,
and this kind of it's like complements what we talked about. So looking forward to it.
We have a lot of things coming up, but we'll talk about that at the end of the episode. For now, let's start, because we already gave her introduction and her journey in the first episode. So if you guys really want to hear her journey, go back to that. Now we're just going to do like her expertise and her mind and opinion and what she does exactly. So what is energy? How can we, when we talk about bursting with energy, when we talk about what you do in your field, what is energy?
Yeah, so what is energy? It's like, we all have different definitions of it, but basically if we were to relate energy to health, energy is life, it's everything, right? And it's directly connected actually to health. It's not just, it's a direct connection because high energy is good health. So it's not about the way you look, it's about the way you feel. It's about how, if your organs are optimal, basically, because if your organs are optimal, then your energy flows. Your energy is high, you're good. Like it's so more so, not as much, I guess, about the weight, but more about, the brightness in your eyes and like the quality of your, like, do you have strong hair, good nails, like so it's these little things that kind of give us a hint into your health and the energy flow in your body, basically.
So tip number 1, look at your organs, look at your hair, look at your nails, look at your brightness, how you feel, how your energy is flowing.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
And that will give you a good indication of where you are on that health spectrum. So now we talked about energy, the organs. What does that have to do with, we're always talking about the chakras, the 7 chakras. Yeah. A lot of people don't know exactly what that is. So how does that intertwine with the chakras?
Okay. So first, like, let's talk about the chakras. So, it's a term, it's been around for so long. It comes from Sanskrit, right? Chakras, and it means wheel. That's what it means. And
wheel, guys.
Yes, exactly. But what are actually chakras? Because we have representations of the 7 major chakras and the colors and where they're situated. But what is a chakra if we were to ask? So do you want to try and answer that question maybe? And then I'll explain. Like,
I feel like it's, so I'm going to say it based on my experience. It's your energy, the core of your energy, like that flows out. That, I guess, so we'll start with the root chakra, right? So when you talk about the root chakra, it's like how you're grounded and how it flows out of you. And so the wheel, I guess, it's how it's turning, right? Yeah. And how it's expanding and multiplying.
Yes.
I don't know if that was, let me know if that was a good explanation of that, but how your core energy flows.
That is a very good explanation. There's a lot of, elements of the answer, most of the elements of the answer, actually. So what a chakra is, and I think we actually mentioned it last time, where we have different, so we have our physical body and we have different
Layers
bodies,
of bodies. Yeah,
layers.
you talked about if you get sick, it's because
Mm-hmm.
they entered the rest of the fields of your body.
Exactly.
And then now you're physically sick.
Exactly. So just to recap a little bit, you have your ethereal body, mental body, emotional body. So you have, I guess, at least 7 layers like this. So what a chakra does is it kind of brings all those bodies together. It kind of, so it seals them together, right? So it's like when you're walking away, you're not leaving, back like one of your bodies.
If you had to compare it to something, would it be like the core of, so we have the earth, the core of the earth, but then there's all these layers, and then you would be that, and then the chakra would be the core. Sorry.
Kind of. It's kind of like, I would say, a button.
Okay.
And that's right. Like it's holding everything together.
Okay.
Or like a like a, how you call it, like a clip. Right. It holds it all together, and it goes to the core.
Okay.
Right. So it's the chakra is actually it'll touch every layer and keep it keep all the layers in alignment. Okay. So your emotional body, mental body.
I'll find a proper image for you guys, and then I'll put it on Instagram for you guys.
Yes. So, and which is why immunity is affected by it, because it just it'll go through all the layers. Yes. So yeah, that's a chakra. Now, if we are to just do a little summary of each one of them and how they how do they affect us in everyday life? As you said, the root chakra. So it's about our groundedness. So about our sense of security, so physical security, financial security. And so it's very survival
mode.
Yeah. And I would say it's been proven. It's we kind of are in this chakra between the ages of 1 to 8 years old. This is when we're developing this chakra the most, and this is when we need the most, right? That's why we're asking for our mom, for our dad. We need this, we need that, we need a lot of sleep, we need rest, we need food, we need love, we need we need
shelter. It's like everything that's keeping you safe and secure.
That's it. So we don't have much to give. We're in a receiving state because we're building. So that's 1 to 8 years old. Exactly. And it makes sense, right? Also,
you're in a receiving state because you're building. Okay.
Yeah. And this is also what I share with parents that are like new parents, where there's different ways of parenting where they're like, oh, my baby cries all the time. Sometimes I let him cry, I let her cry. And I say, well, the thing is, at that age, that is when they need the most. So attending to them is the most important thing, even if it gets tiring. Because you're filling them up for later on, right? That's the life stage they're on. So they
Tip,
need
if you
it.
get tired, just look at their face and just brighten up.
Their cute face, exactly. So 1 to 8 years old, and that's also, like we said, survival mode. So this is when you start feeling like, no, my parents got me. Like I'm secure, I'm safe, and it's
like they're building the foundations of trust. With their environment. Oh yeah,
most definitely. You're not on, because this is also when fight, flight, fright develops, and you want your foundation to be solid, right? So so that would be the first chakra. In a nutshell.
Let's stay on that real quick. Since we're talking about also bursting with energy, this is like 1 to 8. If you do feel those insecurities later on in life, how can that affect?
I'll talk.
What can you do? Okay,
I'll talk. Yes.
Okay.
I'll come back to that. Yes, but that's a very good question. Yes, I'll remember that. Okay, so then let's move on to the second one. So second chakra. So that would be between the ages of 8 and 14 years old. So we're talking like your creativity, your inner child, right? Your sense of, so that's like when you take your bike and you're like, okay, let me go on an adventure today.
Just to let you guys know, root red, sacral orange.
Orange, yes, exactly. It's the color of fire, right? So passion, fire, creativity. So that's the age where you're not really, you're kind of fearless, right? You're, instead of getting scared, you get curious. You take it as like a challenge, an adventure, and you don't really have limits, which is nice for your creativity actually, because you're pushing your boundaries. And that's also, so I said 8 to 14. So that's also beginning of puberty.
Yes, I was gonna say that.
Exactly.
So you're beginning to try to identify yourself and how you navigate as your own being.
Absolutely. And that creativity, that playfulness will transform into sexuality, but sexuality as in expansion.
Because it's your creative force.
Yes.
So sexual energy is always creative force, guys. Put that.
Yes, exactly. So you're kind of, so it's a state of transformation. It's not about, we say sexuality, so it's not necessarily that you start developing feelings, strong feelings of attraction. It's more a feeling of expansion and transformation. So we're still kind of in, if we can put it this way, innocence, you know, but in an expansive way.
Yes.
So yeah, you're growing.
Yes.
That's it. So yeah, that would be the second chakra. Is there anything else?
No, I like that.
We're good.
That's
Yeah.
straightforward, yes.
So the third chakra. So we move up to the solar plexus.
Solar plexus. This is the one I had the most difficulty with, and still is a challenge till this day. So let's talk about
Yes,
that.
it's a super important. I mean, they're all important, but it is such an important chakra because that is the chakra that's responsible for your forward movement, your motivation, your determination. So whatever you have, like let's say first, second chakra, you're putting it into action now. So it's like that courage, that it's action. We're putting it into action. Yes.
And think of, it's yellow, so sunshine.
Yes, yes. It's your inner sun. Like it really is. And in life, when you're stuck, like usually it's that chakra. This is where it is. And usually when you feel stuck, your digestion will tend to be sluggish a bit, because this is where you digest your food, your life experiences, everything. So
don't just think, and I think we said that in your last episode, don't just think you're digesting food, you're digesting everything around you.
All of it, because of digestion.
That's why environment is so important, and I think that's why the root chakra comes first, right? Because you want to be in that secure environment that allows you to be your inner sun.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly it. And it's, life is well made that way, right? Everything has a purpose. So yeah, and that we're talking between the ages of, what were we, like 8 to 14? So 14, so we're 14.
21?
Yeah. So now we're 14 to 21.
Yes.
So these are your teenage years, right? So this is when you're like, okay, like I'm going to take up space in the world.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of tough in today's age, though. I feel like 14 to 21 is such an awkward stage for everyone.
That's why you need courage. That's why you need to be like, I'm going to try this out. Like I'm going to push my boundaries, but at a next level, not just like, you know, taking your bike and exploring, but like, no, like this is, I'm interested in this. I'm going to develop a skill. Like I'm going to develop my speech.
So I guess society did kind of make it right, because we're like, isn't 18 young? Isn't 21 young? But I think it does go with, you know what, you're trying to put yourself out there.
Yes.
And you're trying to figure out exactly what is, who am I? And like, you already figured who am I, but how do I put it out in the world now?
Yes. And something else I want to say, we tell kids, well, like teenagers, when we're 17, 18 years old and we're done high school, you're supposed to pick what you want to do in life. And the thing is, we're not developmentally speaking, we're not there yet, which is why it's
your brain's
actually
not fully developed.
No, we're not. And you're not actually, if you find your path, this is great. It's really great. But if you want to take, I would say in my opinion, you want to take a year off, you want to go out and explore, you should. You should. Because it's the right time for it. You are developing, that's when you learn about the world. That's when you're the most open and receptive to it as well, because that's the stage you're in, right? So just for people to know, it makes sense. Like
another tip, if you feel like you still haven't figured out exactly what you want to do between the ages of 14 and 21, especially when you're done either high school or, high school, both here in
college,
Quebec, all over, college, cégep, then take that time to go and explore and figure out, how do I feel in the world? Where is my calling?
Yes, because you're going to love yourself for it later in life. Honestly, even just like projecting yourself there, just put yourself in the, you know, in the skin of your 18-year-old. You'll be like, yeah, I would have appreciated that. So don't feel guilty. Don't feel pressured. Like you go at your own pace. That's where you're at.
If you're having difficulty with your parents, show them this episode.
Definitely, yes. So that's for the solar plexus. Now if we move up a little bit to the heart chakra. So our heart chakra, color green, nature,
yes.
healing,
abundance,
most definitely. And it's also the chakra that is, it's unlimited. You have unlimited energy resources here. This is, if your energy comes from here, you never run out of it.
I agree with that.
Yes. And then some people might say, oh, you know, I'm such a giver and I gave so much and I feel empty. The problem is not that you gave too much, actually. There's a part missing to that.
We're completely in the same mindset. I was just thinking that. Okay, continue.
Yes. No, because it happened to all of us, right? We were like, oh, I gave too much to this, or I gave too much to that, right? But the thing is, in order to keep the heart chakra in balance, you need to give as much as you receive. So you need to be open to receive, because some people are in the receiving only and they're out of balance because they're not giving as much, and it takes vulnerability to be able to give just as much, just the same as people that give.
Please check.
Yeah.
I was worried about that.
Yes. No.
All right.
Yes. So, and the same way that people that give too much, I say, God, I'm not getting, I'm not receiving. It's not that you're not receiving. It's just maybe that you're expecting to receive from a place that you can't receive from. So open yourself to receive from anywhere.
I was just thinking that. Because sometimes I've heard some people that are saying that something is their happiness, or someone is their happiness. So that means your source of happiness, or your heart chakra, is connected to something or someone else. Whereas there's an unlimited amount of places that you can get that love from. It's just nature, just being out in nature. You can replenish yourself, and then you can go out and give again. But if it's coming from someone or something, then it's limited, and then that's when you might be a little bit stuck in a sticky situation.
Yes, and also like I would say, just doing something you love, right? So have the courage to just go and do it, because you're opening your heart up to receiving, because it comes naturally. It shouldn't be forced, right? So
and that goes back to the chakra before, where you figured out what you love doing.
There you go. Exactly. Isn't it nice?
Right.
And it also bridges the gap between the lower chakras and the higher ones, right? So
it's right in the middle.
Exactly. So giving and receiving. So that's for the heart. And we're talking, so 21 to 28 years old.
Yes.
21 to 28, that's when we're developing this chakra. And it kind of makes sense too, because if your other ones were well developed, everything, well, you kind of want to start giving back, because you're full, because you've received so much. That's it. Isn't it nice?
It
exactly.
is.
Yeah. So that's for the heart. Now we move up to the throat chakra. So right now in the world, I would say there's a big awakening of the throat chakra, because interestingly enough, the throat is connected to our second chakra, so our sacral. So this was our inner child, our creativity. So basically, when we say a gut feeling, this is where it's coming from. So it's the expression of our authentic truth.
So expression of the authentic truth.
That's it. So it's not just about talking and expressing, it's expressing your truth, what you hold deep inside, right? So, and just like realities keep changing, your truth can change. It's ever evolving. And it's about being in alignment with that truth, speaking that truth, putting it into action by sending it out to the world, right? Through your
mouth,
communication.
Or however you communicate.
That's it. So if you have that chakra blocked, right, it's like sore throat, coughing, hesitating, feeling like, you're
your
stuck
chest,
here. That's it. And sometimes like people will develop lung issues because they're not talking. So it's like the heart wants to talk, but it gets stuck here in the chest. Congestion. So
these are also things to look out for, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the throat and sacral very connected, because that's
blue, by the way.
Blue color, exactly. All shades of blue. Yeah. That's it. And so that would be age 28 to 35.
Okay.
It's 28 to 35.
Okay. So we're in that right now. I'm in that right now.
Yes, exactly. So expressing who you really are, but for that you need to so be confident, right? To know what you're saying. So that's why it's so important. To
build
receive.
it up. Yes.
Yes, that's it. And then
Next, which one? This one I find very interesting.
yes,
Third eye.
the third eye chakra, kind of
Yes.
like a purple color. So this one, what's interesting, there's no age. It's all ages.
Ooh.
Because constantly from a baby all the way till old age, we're constantly developing our wisdom and our intuition. So this is our inner vision. Whatever you're able to see very precisely, you start feeling it because you're visualizing something, and that's your power of manifestation, your creation. If you can see it, it's because it already exists, because that's the first step of creation, right?
Nice.
And then you use your solar plexus to put into action.
Yes.
You use
I
everything.
love it.
Right? Exactly. And you also have trust that, yeah, I see it, I'm going to make it happen.
It's like trusting your intuition,
Exactly.
trusting your inner vision, trusting anything that you want to actually manifest.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, everything you want to manifest. And it's also where you receive all your messages and information. It comes in directly.
Just like that
third
gut
eye.
feeling, sometimes you just know things. It's a knowing.
Yep. And I think we all have that. It's just about trusting it. So train yourself to trust
Yes.
yourself. Yeah, that's it.
Train yourself to trust yourself.
Exactly. And then, the last one,
Crown
our
chakra.
our crown chakra. So, and that is 35 and over, like 35 plus. So, but then, would we say, so that's the connection to source, right? So that keeps you in alignment, everything. And I'll go back to your question where you're saying, well, what if, at this age we didn't get this and we get stuck here and there? Well, I would just, I would ask you, like 35 plus, do you think everybody at 35 is fully actualized and know where they're going? No. And so the reason why is because we get stuck at certain ages. And if we look at humanity right now, there's a specific area where the collective, the mass is stuck at. Like which chakra would you say, just like that, like would you just take a guess, would you say we're stuck at?
Honestly, it's probably higher than that, but I would even say the root.
You're not wrong. Like it's root sacral. That's
Okay.
where we are because we're stuck in competition, power, survival, reactive.
That's why,
Exactly. That's where we are. So that's where we're being kept at. That's where the masses
just
are
imagine
being kept
if
at.
we were at the heart,
Just the heart. Exactly. So, and that's why I'm saying, but there is a rising of the collective getting to their, expressing their, and it's connected to the second.
Their authenticity.
Yeah. So we're kind of like bringing the energy up. So yeah, that creates a lot of chaos. And I say this so much. Where different people at different levels of consciousness coexisting next to one another. That's hard.
It is.
It's hard.
It is really hard.
Yeah, it is challenging. So that's kind of like an overview of.
I wanted to just to add to what you were saying about getting stuck. Basically, I read this book, The Continuum Concept, and it talks about adults that are stuttering or that have lack of confidence, and basically they were teaching adults to creep and crawl again. And that was actually helping them to, I guess, grow out of that stage because they were stuck in a certain point of life because they were carried so much when they were supposed to start creeping and crawling that they got stuck. They never graduated from that phase.
Right, because when you're at your second chakra, let your kids do dangerous things carefully because they're trying to do it carefully. Let them do that. Let them see that, hey, I can do it. Right. And just so you guys know, we can be very successful adults, but if we're stuck at a certain age, it's only sometimes certain aspects, right? So we're very functional professionally, everything, but when it comes to emotions and just attachment, in our relationships, we go like, oh my God, like I really need this, and but
clingy or just detached completely.
Yes, but when we address it, what happens is it's like, let's say we're here, and our attachment style is here because we're stuck at a chakra. Once we resolve it, we go here. We get here, so don't worry. Like you're not going to be stuck. It's just sometimes we're so far in life, we feel but there's certain aspects that are so far back that as soon as we resolve it, it's like we see ourselves. Yes, you zoom,
Yeah.
you zoom. So the body is so smart that way. It's so wise, right? So yeah, don't think you're stuck and what am I going to do? No, as long as you keep working on yourself, you get to where you want to be.
Just bring
right?
awareness to your wounds, and you'll probably figure out where you're blocked in your body.
Yes. Chakra meditations, clearings, but doing it with knowing why you're doing it. Bring awareness to it, like you said. So, yeah.
I love that. That was a very great explanation of each chakra. I hope that was helpful for you guys. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions. Next, because I know you do Ayurveda. I find this word so hard to say. Ayurveda, right?
Ayurveda, yes.
Okay, so what is it? And can you explain the foundation of it?
Ayurveda.
I know a lot of you have heard the word going around too as well.
Yeah, no, it's much more known and spread widespread, I would say now, than it was even 15, 20 years ago. So just in a nutshell, they call it the mother of all medicine because it kind of encompasses everything. It just, it comes from the belief that everything is a delicate balance between mind, body, and spirit or soul, yes. And we say a delicate balance because the point is not to be perfect at all times. It's because you look at nature is not stagnant.
Perfect,
It's not perfect.
I think we talked about that too. Yeah, how the trees look different. How things,
exactly. So it's not stagnant. So it's your adaptability is what will allow you to grow and prosper and move forward.
And bloom.
Exactly. Be abundant, really. So we work, with the elements. We talked about fire, air, water, ether, earth, yes.
Ether is would be the fifth one, right?
The fifth one, yes, exactly. Ether, so those elements, which are ever changing, ever moving, the same in our bodies.
You have all of those elements in your body.
Yes, we do. Fire, it'll bring passion. Earth brings groundedness.
When your body gets spread.
Exactly. And once we understand these intricate details and connections, there's such a wisdom to it, and we start getting into a state of flow and harmony with nature and with ourselves because we come from nature. We work with taste, so we have sweet, bitter, sour, all of that. And once we understand, taste is related to other things, like when we crave sweet, it's craving comfort and love. So once we understand why we crave certain things and why we have certain behaviors, well, we develop the wisdom to say this is what's going on, so let me go to the root cause.
Yes. What would be bitter taste if you're craving a bitter taste?
The bitter taste, so usually you would, well, I don't know about craving the bitter taste.
Yeah, usually it's more medicine.
But I know sometimes people will need the bitter taste. Usually it's people that have a lot of water retention. Because the bitterness, it absorbs water.
Okay.
So green tea is good for people that have a lot of water and earth element in their bodies because it's good for weight loss. It's good for absorbing water if you have water retention. So they won't crave it, but if they have something bitter, they'll be like, I needed that.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
But they won't know why, right? But there's an explanation for everything. So Ayurveda kind of shows you the natural meaning,
of the root cause, basically.
Yeah, of why you have these behaviors, why you're craving this, why this is like that, and
I like that.
So that's kind of in a nutshell, I would say Ayurveda.
How long have you been doing that, or has it always been integrated into your work?
I've always kind of known about it, but it was more I would say 2014, where it's just when I was I'm going to study this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to start applying it. So then became a practitioner.
Nice.
Yeah.
So she is a practitioner. If you guys do want to look at root causes for certain things that are happening in your life, you can always contact Vyasha. How can we better tune into our body and move in a way that allows us to overcome unaligned habitual actions?
I would say also
bad habits, basically.
Yes. Well, to overcome everything, because of what we talked about as well, the state of humanity, of the world that are stuck in their second chakra, we need to slow down, get out of fight or flight mode, and feel that we're safe enough to get out of fight or flight mode. So we're going through life, and then sometimes it's you have to stop and think, okay, wait, do I really want to do this? Why am I doing this? What is this life I have? Is this what I want? Is this in alignment with what I want? Am I speaking my truth and everything? And you really have to slow down so much sometimes to bring yourself to a place of just stability and tell yourself, okay, this is who I am, this is what I want. Because always hold your third eye, always hold your vision, because we all have this ultimate thing of this is where I see myself. Well, this is where you see yourself. Like, don't take it as this is just a dream or whatever. No, you're meant, this is where you're meant to be. Otherwise, you wouldn't be holding this in your heart and in your mind, you know, years and years for years. So see yourself
and you deserve and you're allowed to hold that vision, guys.
Yes. And then tell yourself, okay, so this is where I want to be. And you ground yourself. And then you ask, like, you just ask your guidance, like, show me the path, like, show me the first step. And that first step is not necessarily going to be logical, but it'll feel right. And trust it.
Yes, trust it. And if you need help doing that first step, you can contact me, you can contact her. We're here for you guys.
Yes. And sometimes it's just about having those rituals for ourselves where it's like, I'm going to take 5 minutes a day to do this. I'm going to take, 1 hour a week to do this.
5 minutes of breath work helps a lot.
Exactly. And it's easier to do it when you know why you're doing it.
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go.
Because there are also distractions, there's excuses. There's always a good excuse, guys. So
Yeah.
you have to hold your vision.
Especially in a fast-moving environment, and ask yourself, like, why are things moving so fast as well? Because you're giving your energy to that, and energy is so precious. You know, when you run out of energy, you run out of life force. Like this, and then this is the end of your life when you run out of energy. So conserve your energy, give it to what you want to give it to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. And it's going to take time, guys. That's why I purposely said habitual, because it took a certain amount of time to get that habit, right? So it's going to take a certain amount of time to get out of it. So don't be impatient with yourself, because then, you're rocking that stability that you just created.
Yes, yes. But it doesn't, I mean, if something that takes years to like a habit that takes years to create, once you start changing that, it won't
hold
take
the
you,
inner vision.
Exactly, but it won't take you years. It'll take you months and stuff, but it still takes time. But don't worry.
It's not going to take just as long, but
no, exactly.
But you need to be patient with yourself.
Yeah, which is fair, I think.
It is.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I like that. Okay. Next question. What does health and energy look like for you specifically?
Yeah. So, well, I talked about it a little bit where I say energy is, health is energy.
No, but I mean in
energy.
your life.
In my life.
Yes.
Yes. Kind of this, similar to that, where as long as I have high energy, I'm in good health, because for just like a lot of people, growing up, it's like, I should look like this, and I should be able to,
There's
like,
appearance,
and I should be smart in this, and why am I not smart in this again? And
it's that, when we were talking about the root chakra in the world, that competition.
Yes, exactly. Because that's how we're graded in school, right? It's like in comparison to others, this is how you are. So once you start deconstructing that, you're like, okay, so how does health look for me? Because I don't want to do this. Like, mentally, I don't want to be here. Like, where do I want to be? Oh, this is where I want to be. And then what about if I let my body be the way it wants to be? Like, what does it want to eat? And if I can just be happy with the way I look, then how would life be? And then I realized,
I like that.
Oh, my organs are happier when I sleep early, and I feel good, and my eyes are bright, like I was saying. So it's like, okay, so if I sum up all these things, how do I look like in the end? I'm like, well, this is health. Because I would have to give up inner peace and stress myself out and try to be something I'm not in order to look healthy according to a standard. So high energy, I would say. If I'm happy, I'm healthy, because like we said, the heart chakra, that's the unlimited source of energy. If the heart is open, it'll keep us alive longer. Literally keep us alive longer.
Completely agree with that. I actually just saw, I was watching a podcast yesterday. I'll have to put the name of the two ladies in the description, but they won a Nobel Prize because they discovered that stress reduces your, so on the end of your chromosome you have, it's telomere in French, in English.
I just know the French term too.
But it's telomere, and then so it's at the end of your chromosomes, and it actually keeps your longevity and your energy. So it reduces with stress. So the more it reduces, basically the study showed that we're supposed to, when we're born, we have a bunch of it, right?
Yeah.
And so we're supposed to live a minimum of 120 years, but because we have so much stress and inflammation, it reduces it so much that we don't even, I guess in Canada it's 88 years old, the average lifespan.
Yes, which is young, to be honest. It's just that we compare it to other, like we're like, oh, if I live 80, I mean, some people only live 70.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, no, I mean, you should compare yourself to yourself, meaning like you're supposed to live up to 120, 200 years old. Like, no, 80 is not, it's too young.
Yes.
Tell yourself, like, what can I do? And believe it, because you have everything. You come from nature, you have everything in nature.
And everyone's thinking, oh, I'm going to be 100, I'm going to be in a diaper, I'm going to have this, people are going to have to take care of me. But that's not the truth. You can have that energy and you can keep being active.
I think I had it on my Instagram. I posted it as a story where this lady was 141 years old.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I don't think I've heard that old. I think the oldest I've heard is like 116.
116. She's 141, and you looked at her, and like, I'm like, okay, like, look at her eyes, look at everything. She's gonna, and she's expressing her truth. Like, you can tell she is in alignment. That's why she's alive, honestly. So those are your life examples.
Living in alignment is.
Yes, and she's walking like nobody's taking care of her or anything. So you can actually live a good life. And when it's your time to go, you go, but you're not suffering. You're not in this. Yeah.
You're not leaving behind regret. You're like, I've lived a good life. I've done what I want to do. I've experienced what I want to experience. I've given. I've received.
I've loved myself.
Yes.
You know, it's
I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to let our audience go before we go into questions from real life people?
No, just generally. So this last thing we said about slowing down, because I mean, we give this information and stuff, but in order for you to integrate it and for your body to accept it, to receive it, you have to really slow down. So just take time, I would say, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, to slow down. And you'll find that you'll get a lot of answers to your questions as well, a lot more clarity and everything. So that would be the simple, advice that I would give people.
Yes, I agree with that. I've met people that when they do take the time to slow down, there's so many wandering thoughts. Don't give up. Just try to address each thought, and then slowly they're going to fade until you feel like, okay, I'm good enough to like be still and be with myself.
Yeah, or write them down.
Yes, journaling.
Put it aside. Yeah, journaling. Yeah.
All right, let's go into real life questions, and then I'll end with a longer story, and then we'll both give our opinions on that.
Yeah.
All right. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Let us know in the comments how you feel about everything that we've said so far. And then if you have any questions specifically for Vyasha, then I'll let her know. Okay, we'll start with this question. No, I want to do that question after. Okay. Is luck a spiritual energy?
Is luck a spiritual energy? First, we'd have to define luck, because this is what I believe. I don't think that there is such a thing as pure luck, because, I mean, at least numerology is a science, astrology is a science, and I'm not saying you have to follow everything, but it's good to know how things have worked and how to work with the energies, Anything's possible, no matter what. But knowing that, okay, it's the right time to do this, like, let me use this energy and like boost, myself, like kind of go in the same direction as the waves instead of going against the waves.
Yes.
So luck, in a sense, is like, I think you're using the energies in the right way, and that's why you're lucky.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like it also has to do with you just going with the flow of what's inside. I'll just literally give you a story right now.
Yeah.
I was going outside to get my baby car seat, and I didn't want to take the elevator because I don't know how to use it properly. So I'm like,
Oh, the
you know, I'm
huge
not going to
elevator.
take it, right? So
Yeah.
I go to the stairs and I see Amalin, right? My social media marketer. I see him literally in the stairs as I'm going downstairs, and I hesitated. I was like, should I take the stairs? Should I not?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, let me go take the stairs. And
Yeah.
then he's coming up the stairs. And I was like, oh, perfect. There it is. But I wouldn't have seen him if I took the elevator.
Oh, you wouldn't have seen it? Okay, okay,
Exactly.
yeah.
He would have just passed me and then just figured it out himself. But I was like, oh, okay. Let me just take yours right there.
Yes, yes.
So things like that, I think, like, you know, I was like, you know what? I don't trust this. Let me do what I do trust. And then I saw him.
Yes, yes. Do what you trust, what your gut is telling
Yeah.
you. Follow that, because I think I said that too. There is a certain order in the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that with our little brain, we can't see it all. We will never see
It's
it
like
all.
Wi-Fi. You can't see Wi-Fi. I think there's lines that are connecting us to certain actions.
Yes.
And then if you go in the one that's meant for you, it turns out you're lucky. But
Yeah,
I think it's so random because we don't trust ourselves nowadays.
exactly.
But the more you trust yourself, the more luck you'll have. I guess they say, oh, this person's lucky because everything happens. I have a friend that she says her dad finds parking every time. Every time. I'm like, he has the parking angels with. He's
parking
like, I'm
angels, yeah.
always going to find parking. And he always finds parking no matter where he goes.
Well, you know, he believes it so much, he feels it, and because he established a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying, God, nothing ever works out for me. Guess what? Things are not,
Yes.
chances are things are not going to
Yes.
work out if you
Because
say
you're
that.
going to look for the things that you're like, you're not going to look at the things that are actually working out.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to always look at the things that are not working out.
Yeah, you'll find everything you're looking for.
Exactly.
No matter what it is, right? So yeah, you have to be your biggest cheerleader to really believe what you're feeling, what you're seeing,
Yeah.
because that's where it begins. Yeah.
Yes. Like that.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Is luck a spiritual energy?
But that was a good question.
It is, right?
Yeah, the concept of luck. Yeah.
And we kind of answered this in our questions, but I'm going to ask it again just to reiterate. How do I get lost spiritual energy back?
How you get lost spiritual energy back? By calling it back when you align yourself and you center yourself. Once you center yourself, you can actually say it and you'll feel it right away. When you say, I call my energy back from all places, situations, and people that are not for my highest good. Call it back and do the other part, which is I expel all energies
Are not aligned with
that
you,
are not aligned, like from my auric field that do not belong to me, that do
Yes,
not
I
serve
do
my
that.
highest good. So both of them,
Yes.
and you'll kind of feel like, okay, I just got like a boost.
boost.
Exactly. You read my mind.
Right. How does someone become a spiritual energy healer?
A spiritual energy healer, I think, by fully accepting yourself and loving yourself. I know it like sounds like corny, but if you really are just happy with who you are and you're like, hey, like this is how I was born. Like
Yes.
I gotta have me. I got me. I have to.
I like
Right? And just take it like a kid would take it, like, well, this is who I am and I just want to have fun. Like I
Yes.
just want to have a good time.
Yes. Bring out your inner child with it.
That's it. And when you get scared of something or something, like instead of being afraid, like just be curious, a question like, why is this like that? And just inquisitive. Be
Yes.
inquisitive about things, right? Ask questions, be innocent with yourself. Be innocent, so because it brings out your vulnerability and it's you with yourself.
Yes.
You're not going to hurt yourself, right?
Yes.
Trust yourself. And once you start doing that, you're going to become your own superpower, right? You'll attract.
Everybody has their own gift. Her gift is not going to be the exact same thing as my gift. My gift is not going to be the exact same as your gift. But there's a healing within that because there's someone that relates to your story. So just really love yourself and accept yourself. And then you'll find how you, I guess, channel your healing energy.
And that way you'll start appreciating other people's gifts too, instead of being in that competitive thing of like, why is it happening to this person and it's not happening to me? And the second chakra that we're all like, the humanity is blocked in it, right? So you start appreciating everyone, you start trusting yourself, trusting others, upward spiral. So yeah.
Okay. Then there's this question. How would you spiritually explain a negative energy felt in the presence of a narcissist? Is the narcissist carrying spiritual darkness that they are not aware of? Sorry.
we can get into something very complex. Like we can talk about this a long time. There's different ways to approach this. I think with narcissistic people, or just people in general that have trauma, or just something negative that happened to them, or negative things that happen to them, what happens to the body. So when we talk about calling our energy back, let's say we're full, we're 100% when we're born. When something traumatic happens to us, there's a tiny part of us that gets scared and disconnects from us, right? In that fear. So that space is open to whatever, So you gotta fill it up with something.
Yes.
And if by luck someone comes around and says, hey, what happened to you was really wrong, and this shouldn't have happened, you're okay, you're safe, that part will come back. But if in that moment instead we get something harsh, we get, and we don't know, so whatever, we're so vulnerable in that state that whatever we pick up on becomes our identity. So it's like, okay, so now I'm gonna get them before they get me. And it's just, it stays with us and we think it's us. But that's not, exactly. So that's why we got to go back to the trauma and say, no, this shouldn't have happened to me. You know what? I deserved love. I deserved protection. I didn't get it. I want to bring it back to me now. And then that energy will leave.
And you also have to release that, and like you said, and then bring
that's it. So with narcissistic people, like they're carrying so much stuff that isn't theirs, I feel. And so we're kind of feeling, that's what we're feeling, right? And it kind of bumps into our energy. And sometimes if we're vulnerable somewhere and we have a wound where it's like,
it can resonate with you, and then
and then you pull that in, right? But if you're full, you're
just going to notice it.
You're going to notice it. You're not even going to be like, oh, I want to avoid him. You're going to be like, oh, that's how it is. And it's just not going to affect you, right? You're not even going to judge it.
I think it's kind of like when they say that something shocks you, and so now you have a space left, and some people, they make a decision that, oh, I'm going to start doing this and better myself in my life, and then some people, they take on something else. So it's like the villain story versus the hero story,
exactly.
I guess, right? Because something shocked you or traumatized you, and then in that moment there was space for something.
Exactly. And then it's either like victim or villain. Exactly. And like we said, if you slow down though, you can actually go back. You can ask your mind, like, bring me back to my latest traumatic moment that affected me, impacted me. You're going to have a memory that comes up. And if you zoom into that memory, and it's going to get uncomfortable, and you say, what actually happened? Like, break it down. You'll be like, I don't want to go there. Go there. And you'll see it's like taking a little piece of like a movie and expanding it, and you'll see little things that happen and how your body coped
with it.
Exactly. And you can release a lot of it. It's because it didn't get time to process during the traumatic moment, and so you need to give it time to process, even if it's later in life. It just needs to process.
that processing moment, and also work on your inner vision, right? Because you would need that inner vision to be able to go into it, right?
Exactly. And of course, like, you can always work with a practitioner, and something like someone can hold your hand and guide you through it, like someone should have when that happened back then, right? So
love it. Okay, the next one is a story, and we're more going to give our opinion on it. Okay? My spiritual journey began when I was a toddler in my crib, taking a nap. I sat up looking at the dust motes swirling in sunlight coming through the curtains of my sun-drenched window. She's very detailed.
Yes.
I saw that the world was made of particles. I could not see unless the light was slanted a certain way at certain times. I thought it was magical. Then, every weekend, I was taken to Orthodox Jewish Shabbat services at a local shul with my zaddy, which is grandfather. I had to sleep over there on Friday nights and felt banished from my family. In the mornings, he awakened me very early. We walked to pick up our fresh challah, which is prepared on Friday, and then we went to shul. Women on one side, men on the other. Every Saturday at dawn, no exceptions. I hated the way women were treated. Men could read and be a part of minyan, but women could not. I wanted no part of any God that required women to be less than men. I knew then and there I was not a regular woman who believed in a regular God, if that was what was required. I just never believed in God. I tried. I figured if the Jewish God didn't exist, maybe another would. I studied Greek and Roman mythology, Catholic church history and mythology, Buddha, be here now, Grateful Dead. I prayed to every religious deity to come into my life. None did. I only heard the echoes of my own thoughts. So before I end it, I want to hear your thoughts first.
This is interesting. Well, depending on people's beliefs, you know, if they believe in reincarnation and stuff, because when we come here, we're not a clean slate. Like we're taking, like we have some baggage with us. It's not necessarily negative. I'm just saying baggage. Just baggage, right? So, and we all come here. It has to do with our inner vision, where we all have a mission. And we don't all have the same mission. So if you have this mission to awaken, you know, your family or something like that, well, you'll come with the tools. Like you'll be equipped with those tools, with that knowledge, with that determination, with that intuition to dig into stuff that's going to bring to that awakening, right? So I think this soul was kind of, it had to do with their mission, right? So, which is why they got those impressions and they were triggered by certain ways of doing things. And yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Yes, and I feel like if you're in that stage of maybe even 8 to 28, it can be you're very vulnerable, because you're like, I don't resonate with this, and I'm going every weekend and I hate it. So it can really leave, I guess, certain wounds. But that determination, since you're coming with those tools, just, I know maybe 8-year-olds are not watching this, but like, you know, just keep your determination, keep your persistence. I think that's what helped me a lot, is my optimism. Everyone was always like, you're too optimistic. But I think that's what really helps me come out of situations and keep my mind, I guess, free. Because a lot of those things can really, that I hate women can turn into something else, right? But if you keep that determination, you keep that sense of there's something more, for me, you'll find your mission. And not, like she said, not everyone's mission is the same. Someone else could have been in that mission, and it is in that church that they would fulfill their calling. But for her specifically, it wasn't there.
Yes, exactly. And that's interesting, where she's like, oh, I read this and I read that, and I couldn't, like, I looked into all deities and I just heard my voice. Well, that's her truth. That's how it is. Like she's understanding something for herself there. And someone else might be like, well, no, I resonate with that deity, and both are right.
Yes, that's both are right.
And I think it's difficult for a lot of people to accept the fact that we're not all the same, and it's supposed to be that way. Not everyone's going to abide by, like, you don't hold the truth and someone else has to follow that truth. You don't know what their journey is about. You won't know, right?
I love that. It's like there's this whole web of life and you don't see the whole picture because you're just in one of the what do you call it? One of the
little
Oh man. Okay, I want to finish what she said. Finally, I began meditating and my spirituality grew. I felt connected to the world and understood my place in it. I understand the world's children, their parents' parents. I see self and not self. I feel oneness and empty my mind with my breathing. It's nice being a living being in a living world.
That's nice. That's really good. And I know some people will hear this, they'll be like, oh, this is so nice, this is inspiring. And others might be like,
what?
Or no, this is not how the world works. Well, a lot of people came here to be warriors as well, right? And they're like,
warriors. That's what we call it.
Yes, exactly. But other people, it's like they're meant to shake things up, and that's how they're like, I can't do this love and light. I believe in it, but I can't.
Yes.
Yeah, but you are in your own way in your love and light.
Yes, because those people that are shaking things up are actually the people that are making you realize yourself, right? And maybe in this lifetime, they're shaking things up, and then the next lifetime, they're like, yo, I want to be living as a being.
You have another role, right? But we need all the roles in this world, right? So
it's like the seasons. You need the seasons to experience different and adaptability of yourself, right?
Yeah. So everyone is valid. Everyone is needed. Exactly. It's essential.
Exactly. I like that. I love that. Thank you for your opinion on all of that and for giving us a little bit of insight on all the questions that I had.
Yeah.
Like we said in the beginning, me and Vyasha are coming up with a little retreat for you guys.
Yes.
You want to give us a little bit?
Yes,
of
well, we can tell you guys a little bit. We're still working on it. It'll probably be at the end of summer. We'll find somewhere in Quebec. Probably be like a 2-day retreat.
Right now, our theme that we're going for is recentering.
Recentering. So we did talk about the chakras. So we're gonna do clearing of the chakras, recentering. We'll do some journaling, integrating. We'll probably have some breath work. I know Jess is a big fan of breath work.
Yes, I am. I did breath work yesterday. It's just so, like, it makes you guys feel still, but at the same time, it's so, you feel it all over your body. So I love breath work.
I mean, if you use breath work to give birth, like you're an expert.
Yes!
You are an expert.
Oh my gosh,
I look up
to a lot of people asked me that, and literally
You're
completely natural
amazing.
breath work.
Yes, that's amazing. And then we'll do some somatic yoga. So I talk about like trauma being held in the body. So sometimes we know everything, but even though we know everything, we're holding the trauma in the body. So it's about releasing it from the body. So we'll do some of that. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
So
we'll do one night. We'll start maybe Saturday morning, do one night, be together on Sunday. I like doing tea ceremonies on the Sunday. So we're still figuring out the little details.
Yes.
But we would love to have you guys. You can message either me. You should see her name pop up. And once we get it actually set up, there'll be a link for you guys to join, or you can message us and then we'll talk together.
Yeah, I'm sure Jess will have like something up, and I'll have it on my website too.
Exactly. So. I'm also doing a workshop on June 2nd. If you guys want to join, Light Up Your Soul. It has a lot to do with what we talked about as well. We're going to be doing breath work, of course.
Yes.
So you guys can check it out on my page and join.
Yes, I'll look into that too.
Yes. Any last words you have for us? Words of wisdom.
Yes. Well, just the last thing I forgot to mention, and just because we talked about chakras too, I have something going on a monthly basis. It's the 7 Chakra Balance Challenge.
Love it.
Yes, it's on my website. Yes. So it's 7 days. I do it every month. So it's 7 days. It's one chakra a day, and we clear. That's what we do. We clear.
So if you can't join this month,
there's next month. So I think I need to have more dates up because the previous ones were full. But just email me and I'll email you the details.
Perfect. Email.
Yes.
Email.
So then, my email. Yes. So it's vyasha.coaching@gmail.com. Or you can visit my website, magnoliaayurveda.com, or vyasha-coaching.com as well. Yeah, both lead to the same place.
I'll put it in the description if anything,
yes.
guys.
And then you said last words. Yeah, so last words that I have, the same thing we said, basically believe in yourself, slow down, center yourself, because you have all the answers. I promise. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. We promise, guys, you have all the answers. So that's all we have for this 4th episode of Bursting with Energy. Join us in 2 weeks for another episode, guys. And if you'd like coaching, contact Vyasha, contact Jess, and we're here for you guys. Have a great Sunday. Bye, guys. Yes. Another great episode.
Yay.